The secret to a long-lasting relationship is prioritizing self-care. Welcome to the Power Plan. I am your host, author, and speaker, Tashara T.J. Robinson, and I am here to educate, encourage, and edify you on your life's journey. Yep, I was married for 19 years, so I figure I kind of know something about the key to a long-lasting relationship. Or if this is lacking, that could be the reason why the relationship didn't make the run. And that is prioritizing self-care. We're going to unpack that on today's video. But first, a little background. I, again, am Tashara, and I was married for 19 years. At home with our 4 beautiful children for 17 years. Yeah, so now I am divorced, been divorced now for 4 years. Lots of self-reflection, lots of tinkering, trying to figure out, what went wrong? So that led me to an ocean of wisdom that self-discovery did. And I would start journaling in my own personal journals. I would take those sayings and post them on all of my social media platforms because it just fed my soul so deeply. And as a result of that, I would get all of these text messages, calls, direct messages from people going, wow, Tashara, I really could relate to that. Wow, tell me what you did here. What do you think about this? I realized, hey, this message is resonating with a lot of people. So I just kept doing it, right? And not for any accolades or anything like that, but it was my own catharsis, my own way of processing this uncoupling, right? So then I thought, I think I should write a book. So I did. I've actually written 2 books. My latest book is From Pitiful to Powerful, and it is on Amazon. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description below. This particular book was my plan. It was my plan of action of moving from a pitiful way of thinking to a powerful way of thinking. And that's why this channel was born as well. It's based off of this book, From Pitiful to Powerful. In this book, I marry our spiritual wisdom with science to let you know that each of us has inherent power that can be utilized when activated. Exactly. It's just lying dormant within us. And sometimes it takes suffering and loss to activate it, but it doesn't have to be that way. I've learned to go, hey, I know I have this power and I know how to activate it. So let's not wait for loss or any kind of trauma to activate this power. We can choose to do it at any time. So that's the purpose of this channel, The Power Plan with Tashara. So on today's video, we're going to talk about self-care and how it is integral to a long-lasting, healthy relationship. I know, it almost sounds like an oxymoron, right? Taking care of yourself or prioritizing self-care is the key to a long-lasting relationship. That's like weird, right? Well, I believe it goes against how we've been programmed. We've been programmed by society to really ditch ourselves when it comes to a relationship. You know, like you're going to just totally empty yourself so that you can be the wife or the husband that you need to be for, you know, the spouse. But what I have realized is that is actually a flawed premise. Think about this. When I say deep to within myself, I'm just going to totally abandon myself so I can be everything I need to be for this person. What I'm basically saying is what I've been given inherently, my gifts, my talents, my interests, my likes, my dislikes, they're not important. We're just going to chunk that and we're going to be everything this person needs me to be. Well, can you think about how that would feel? Let's say you were a parent and you've given gifts to your child, and now because they want to be in this group or be with this person, they're going to chunk it all. That's kind of hurtful, right? It's hurtful not only to the giver, our creator, but really you are minimizing your own gifts, your own talents, your own voice in order to be with or in this relationship. So that premise, unfortunately, needs to be analyzed. Let's sit with that for a minute. So when you think about, let's say, a team, a job, each of us has a role, right? Each of our body parts has a role. So for one body part, say, you know what? I'm chucking all I need to do. My eyes. I'm chucking all I'm going to be, or all of the design that I was given so I can be an ear. No. I'm going to need the eyes to do the eye thing and the ear to do the ear thing, right? I think the same thing goes for our relationships. In order for a relationship to be just as full and vibrant and strong, Each person needs to bring their whole self. Likes, dislikes, desires, passions. I mean, that actually is kind of exciting when each person brings their whole self to the relationship. It's like, ooh, this is exciting. Let's figure out what you want to do. Okay, what do you think about that? Okay, what do you think about that? Okay, so discarding our own inherent gifts, talents, desires, it actually doesn't bode well for a relationship, for a church, for a family, for a society. Bring your whole self. We need it. We need you. And here's the other part I've learned. First of all, I want to break down what I believe the definition of self-care is. Self-care, for the benefit of our video, is the prioritizing of caring for oneself financially, emotionally, physically, and relationally. That means that as I'm single now, so it's rather easy to prioritize, but it's still a habit that if not cultivated now as a single person, I won't continue it when I get into another relationship. And that is, I am prioritizing what fills my bucket, what fills my heart with peace, contentment, and joy. That's really what self-care is. So when I break it down into those categories financially, okay, what makes me feel peaceful and content financially? It's probably not overspending. So I am a good money manager. I want to be sure that all of my savings is in my ducks are in a row in that area, making sure that I can care for myself financially. That brings me peace and contentment. The opposite of that would probably have me worried and frenzied, right? So to bring that into a relationship isn't healthy. What about relationally? I prioritize my relationships with my family, with my girlfriends, because time with them, again, fills my heart with peace and contentment and love, right? So can you imagine a person in a relationship whose heart is filled with peace, contentment, and love? Can you imagine that person in a relationship versus a person whose heart is filled with contention, regret, anger? Those are two different people showing up to a relationship. So it all makes sense now how caring for myself emotionally, financially, relationally, and physically, how it actually contributes to the health of that long-term relationship. Can you imagine being in a relationship with someone who is unhappy? Unhappy all the time, complaining all the time about their physical health, their finances, their relationships with their parents, their friends, their children. Oh my gosh, it wears on a relationship. It does. So it takes courage to step back, not blame your spouse or it could be a friendship or a parent for whatever's going on inside of us, right? And that's why I love my book, From Pitiful to Powerful, because it gives you, the reader, time alone to sit with yourself. I have a chapter on the life cycle of inaction, and it talks about how our thoughts create our feelings create our beliefs create our actions, and our actions create consequences, and that cycle starts all over again. So if I'm unhappy, that's a belief, that's a feeling and a belief, right? Let's take that thing back. What are you thinking about? Is your mind constantly on disappointments, regrets? Why do I keep doing this? What? Let's change those thoughts. We change those thoughts by choosing how we focus our mind. You can choose to focus your mind on thoughts of lack or thoughts of abundance, thoughts of regret or thoughts of possibility, right? So part of self-care is managing those thoughts as well. You know, you could have an amazing spouse, an amazing friendship, amazing parents, but if you feel inside that you're undeserving, unlovable, it's called self-sabotage, and you're doing it to yourself. So on today's video, we talked about how self-care is an integral part of a long-lasting relationship. And that could be a marriage, a family relationship with your friends. Sit with yourself. Prioritize healthy choices physically, relationally, financially, okay? And understand the life cycle of each of your actions. Your thoughts create your feelings create your beliefs Your beliefs create your actions have consequences, and that process starts all over again. So we are the operant power, as Neville Goddard likes to say. We are the ones who actually give power and meaning to things outside of ourselves. So take care of this powerful place, this powerful being that lives within you, and you take care of it by getting still, getting quiet, prioritizing healthy choices in each of those areas. And now you can show up a whole, peaceful, contented individual in every relationship, and you will be freaking irresistible. Trust me on that. And as I like to end every video, remember, you are as powerful as you choose to be.